What's up, Honor? So for 2024, Party City has 10 awesome Halloween animatronics, and today we're going to be ranking them all from worst to best, so let's get started. Number 10. And coming in at the end of today's list is the one animatronic this year that I really hate, but also really wish I could have ranked it better. This animatronic, of course, is Hacken Heidi. So this animatronic is a really cool concept. It's supposed to be a similar idea to that other Axe Girl animatronic from Spirit Halloween a few years ago, where it's kind of like this psycho little girl. And the detail on this thing is also really awesome. That face design there really looks so human-like, which I love. And the clothing and audio for this animatronic is also cool and definitely fits the prop. But then what really ruins this animatronic for me is once it's turned on. Because for its animation, you'd expect it to be this really cool jump scare where she actually swings the axe towards you. But instead, the animation, she kind of looks like she's going to swing the axe towards you. But then the whole climax at the end is where she actually swings it backwards instead of forward, which is really disappointing, and this is just the part that really ruins this animatronic for me. If they would have made her so her axe swings forward, I definitely would have ranked this thing better, and it probably would have been my top 5. But just because the animation on this, they made it so lame, I'm going to have to put in last place at number 10. Number 9. And at number 9, we've got a really cool skeleton animatronic, but I'm putting him towards the end of this list just because he's so overproduced. This animatronic, of course, is Rattles. So Rattles here, I believe he was sold from Party City for 2023, but then they brought him back on a cheaper price for 2024. And honestly, Rattles here, I love the look of him. I like how it looks like he's crawling out of the ground there. It looks really awesome. I love that too about how they took the idea of the 12-foot skeleton, but instead of it being this towering guy, it's instead this big creepy guy just crawling out of the ground. And even though he's so cool, I just feel like he's being way too overproduced this year. It seems like there's so many stores out there with a different version of this animatronic, like Costco, At Home, Joann Fabrics, and even more. There's just way too many versions of this guy. He's still a cool prop, but today is going to be coming in at number 9. Number 8. And next up here is a new carnival-themed animatronic from Party City for this year. This guy, of course, is Dr. Payne. There's a lot of things to like about Dr. Payne here, like his height right there. This guy is massive. I think he stands almost 10 feet tall, so he's definitely a massive animatronic. And then the design of him, too. I love the clothing choice for him. It really has that carnival aesthetic to it. And then the face design on this guy is also really awesome and definitely one of the best heads we've gotten this year from Party City. But there's a few things I don't fully like about this guy, making me put him a bit farther back on this list. One of those things, of course, is this guy's fire breathing effect. I think it looks alright, but I feel like they could have done it way better because the way it looks, I don't know, it's a bit weird. I really think they could have done better. Another thing, too, that I really wish would have been different about this guy is the pose that he's in. He's always in that kind of pose where his head is looking up towards the sky and everything. It would have been better if they made the head so it can turn so he can kind of look at you and then look to the sky. But still, overall, he's a pretty decent animatronic. He's tall, he looks cool and everything. Couple things I could have improved on, but still, he's a great one from Party City for this year. Number 7. And at number 7, we've got an animatronic from last year's lineup that's joined in this year's. We just got actually ranked at the top of my list last year. This guy, of course, is a drop-down Scarecrow. The drop-down Scarecrow here I really love, especially his jump scare. He starts off at about 9 feet tall or so, and then he drops down right in front of you really fast, and overall, it just scares you so much. So even though the drop-down Scarecrow here is such a cool jump scare and ranked at the top of my list last year, there's a few reasons why for this year I don't think he's as good as some of the other animatronics we have. One of those reasons, of course, is that the entire mech for this guy is completely visible, which is a bit annoying. It would have been better if they tried to hide it some way with maybe like some corn details or something behind him. But instead, this guy can just see completely behind him, his mech and everything. Another thing, too, for him is the Scarecrow itself is pretty generic. It's not anything too special. It would have been awesome if they made a new design for it and everything. But still, he's a really cool animatronic, and not the best one this year, but still, he's a good one to have at number 7. Number 6. And at number 6, we've got an animatronic from the Terrifier movies. This animatronic is the Pale Girl. So I have not yet seen the Terrifier movie, but from looking up pictures, this animatronic is pretty accurate to the Pale Girl from the Terrifier movies. I think for 2024, all these companies have gone just way better at making movie-accurate animatronics, which I really love. And the animation on this thing is also pretty decent. Doesn't have anything too crazy, but for what it is, the animation is alright. And yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this animatronic because I've never seen the movie, but for what it is, it's pretty cool looking, and I'm going to put it at number 6 on today's list. Number 5. And now as we enter the top 5 best Halloween animatronics from Party City for 2024, we've of course got the brand new Art the Clown. So this animatronic right here is another one from the Terrifier movie franchise. And I still have not seen the Terrifier movies yet, but comparing Art here to some clips and stuff I've seen online, he looks pretty spot on to how he does in the movie. And as most of you probably know, Party City isn't the only store with an Art the Clown animatronic this year, as Spirit Halloween also has their own version. And honestly, I was originally a bigger fan of Spirit Halloween's version, but after thinking about it a bit more, I think I honestly might have to say that Party City's version might be better. I don't know though, I like how Party City's version also has the saw in his one hand. I like how he has the bloody clothing already on him, unlike Spirit Halloween's where you apparently have to buy fake blood to add onto his costume, which I thought he came with 2 different costumes. So even though Party City's version is a bit more expensive, honestly, I think it's better than Spirit's and is overall a great animatronic. Number 4. And next up here, everybody, at number 4 is one similar to Rattles from earlier, but instead is a pumpkin version. This guy, of course, is Embers. There's a lot of things to love about Embers here. One thing, of course, is the black light reactive paint on, which is really cool. So if you have a black light shining on this animatronic will just glow in the nighttime, which is really awesome. And the overall design of it is so creepy, especially that head there. It has this creepy looking smile and everything. Overall, I'm just a huge fan of Embers here. So overall, Embers here is a great groundbreaker, and honestly, I'm going to have to say might be the best one ever. I don't think anything will ever top this. Number 3. And now as we enter the top 3 Party City Halloween 2024 animatronics, we've of course got Cthulhu. And I've got to give it to you, Party City. I love how you're making new Halloween monsters for us. Especially with this one here, he looks extraordinary. I love the height to this thing. I believe it was around like 9 or 10 feet, which is awesome. And then overall, the rest of this guy looks awesome. I love how he has the tentacle arms there, especially the one that wraps around that lantern there, which looks creepy. And then the head there with all the tentacles hanging down also looks awesome. One thing I will say, I do wish he had more animation, but for this guy's size, he is just so awesome, and definitely the best sea-themed animatronic this year. And Party City, I really hope you give us more unique monsters in the future, because this guy right here is certainly an awesome one. Number 2. And at number 2, everybody, we've got Animatronic, which Spirit Halloween already made 2 different versions of, but I think Party City has definitely made the best version. This guy, of course, is the Contamination Kid. So the Contamination Kid here is a 2-headed goat, and is kind of stealing the idea from Spirit Halloween of making the multi-headed animatronics. If you don't remember, in the past, Spirit Halloween made Cerberus, which actually returned this year, and of course also made Sewer Varmint, which both have a similar fog feature to this guy and a similar head animation. But honestly, I've got to say the 2-headed goat here is way better than both those Spirit Halloween animatronics. One thing they did a lot better for this guy was definitely the detail on it. Like, just like at the head there, that head mold is really detailed, and they did a great job on it. And the overall body for this guy is also really well detailed. I also love this thing so much because it reminds me of one of my favorite video games, Goat Simulator. It looks like something straight out of that game, which I really love. So overall, the 2-headed goat here is so awesome, and definitely one of the best ones from Party City for this year. Number 1. And number 1, we've got what I think is the best animatronic this year from Party City, and maybe even one of the best ones from any store this year. This animatronic, of course, is the Skill Crane. So the Skill Crane here is a reskin of the Popcorn Clown from a few years ago, and usually I'm not the biggest fan of reskins, but honestly I think they did a way better job on the reskin for this guy here. The claw machine itself looks really cool. I love all the different details just all around this thing, And then I like how on the inside too at the top there, it also has the claw that actually moves around. The jump scare on this thing is also very effective. I love how it's interactive where you actually have to go up to this animatronic and push the button to activate it. And overall, the Skull Crane here is a really awesome animatronic, and this guy I'm definitely going to be picking up once he arrives in stores at Party City or Canadian Tire. And with all that said, everyone, that is going to be it for today's ranking video. Hopefully you did enjoy. Honestly, Party City this year has a really awesome lineup, and I think it might even be better than Spirit Halloween. Not quite sure. I'll have to see some of these animatronics in person, but from the looks of it, they have a bunch of awesome stuff this year, and I can't wait to pick up Skull Crane. Anyways, that's it for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video tomorrow. Goodbye.